This video is made for adult collectors because, oh my god, the rigmarole I'm going through right now just to get my MPG Prime from FedEx. Ugh. Before we get into this dude real quick, bringing this in here, yes, I'm aware this is a knockoff. I did not know that when I shot the video, but I found out afterwards when so many people told me the difference between the original G1 toy and the knockoff. I have to find the box still because apparently there's like a tell on the box that I just didn't know, and neither did the store I bought this from. But yes, this is not the actual G1 Grimlock. No wonder it felt a little bit strange. I just thought it was because it was old, but no, it is not an actual G1 Grimlock. Yay. Siege Astrotrain is one of the figures of all time. I do like this thing, but it has some quirks about it that bug me, and they just announced a new one, and it also has some quirks that bug me. More visually, because obviously I haven't handled the new one yet. Yes, I will be getting it, and yes, I will be doing a video on it, because that is my job after all. But the biggest question I see people asking online is, how do you make vanilla waffles from scratch? Wait, no, I'm just hungry. No, the question actually is, do you get this one or the new one? Well, I don't know. I like things about the new one and don't like things about the new one, and the same can be said here for Siege Astrotrain, who is supposed to come with a tender, by the way, and I don't know where it went. I've been looking for ages. I know it's in a bucket somewhere with the rest of his guns. I just can't find that bucket. So instead, here's my headphone case. They're not in the case, they're in my head. I do have one of his guns though, so win, I guess, maybe? I do like all the detail on this guy with nice sculpted lines all throughout. I do find at some points though it gets a little bit busy, like in the shoulders, chest, and forearms. The battle damage here does kind of work though, because I know Siege battle damage was weird and it all just looked a bit strange, but here it kind of blends in because of the plastic color. The plastic quality itself actually feels fine. It doesn't feel as great as some of the other newer leaders we're getting nowadays, and I'm assuming the new one is going to feel like these newer guys, but it's still not bad. And does this thing yellow? Because mine hasn't, and none of my friends has, but it's Siege, which is where the yellowing issue started before it was fixed in Legacy Year 2. So does Astrotrain actually yellow? This copy, though, suffers from old. My copy has loose hips and loose knees, and his shoulders want to come apart during transformation, and I don't touch this very often, so that's weird. I do like the head sculpt, though, with that nice epic yellow stripe and that silver face. I remember the biggest complaint on this thing when it came out was that he was short, because this was around the time leaders became a price point and not a size, because they switched to scale, and he does come with a lot of stuff, so I do see the whole like leader thing, but he was short, and apparently the new one fixes that from what I understand. So the articulation here is plentiful but strange, because there is some like slightly weird limitations to how this thing works, and I'm noticing that mine's this foot hangs a tiny bit lower than this foot, and they're both pegged in. I don't quite understand where it's uneven, but it is ever so slightly uneven. You see that? And like I can't fix that. It's pegged in, because it does peg into that little hole there, and it's just hanging a little bit lower than this one, which is weird. But the head is on a ball joint. You don't get that much tilt, but you do get a rotation, and you can look up that far and can't really look down that much. The wings kind of, so this one folds back, but this one doesn't want to go as far back as the other one does, but the arms can do a full 360 degrees. They can go out about that far. The way the shoulder's shaped stops it from hitting a full T. You do get a bicep rotation. You get double jointed elbows and nothing at the wrist. There's nothing at the wrist and no opening hands, which is something that leaders get a lot nowadays. They get the opening hand and the wrist swivel. I'm pretty sure this guy, Megatron, Age of Extinction Prime, they've all had that. And like back in Siege, that wasn't a thing. He does have a waist joint, which is a little bit loose on my copy now because he is old. The hip skirts move forward. The hips can go, they can't do a full 90-degree forward, but you can like move the leg to make it look like that. They can't go back about that far. They can go out. He does have like weird thigh swivels. They click into place like right here. And you can kind of see there's like a little nub in the mushroom on both sides. I don't know if that's mold flash or if that's like supposed to thoop into place, but that is strange. Now, one of the things that does bug me about this is when you get him into like a waist rotation, you want to get him to look a little low down, this will bump into here. It is a tiny bit annoying, not like super annoying, but it is a little bit, and like this is all painted, so you got to be careful with that. He does have a little bit under 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and then you have an ankle tilt that goes about that far before it wants to come out. He is very posable for a leader class toy of the time. He is missing a lot of what we get nowadays. which again, I'm assuming the new updated version is going to fix that. I believe it does have opening and closing hands. So if articulation's your thing, the new one's probably going to be better, but this is still pretty serviceable. It just does a couple things I think are weird. I do like the look of the robot mode. The function of it is fine and honestly does hold up to today's standards, though leaders nowadays have like opening hands and wrist swivels and shit. But the new one, I guess we'll just have to wait and see when it comes out whether or not it functions fine. The transformations are very G1 toy, but extra steps. But what mode should I do first? I'll ask someone. Hey, Ruby, which one would you pick? Oh, I don't think she cares. Okay, she's a bit dumb, but I love her. Shuttle first. All right, let's make him a spaceship. So to start with, we're going to just make sure everything's straightened out. Fold up the hands, get them out of the way. Then we're going to take the arms and you're going to lift them up on this section right here. Rotate this around and then fold up the arm. It will peg in at the back and then just bring it up. It's gonna sit on top of the head. So you do that on both sides. And once you have that done, they're gonna sit there. They're not gonna peg together. This piece, you're gonna bring this piece back here and get that situated. Then you wanna come to the chest and open up these flaps on either side and pull this out. This is the tail fin. So this is gonna fold down. It's going to peg in the arms and then the booster is gonna come around and really hold everything together, and that's the back of the shuttle pretty much done. So here we're going to take these pieces and fold them forward. That locks the waist into place. Then you want to take the feet, fold them back. They're going to peg in underneath the shuttle. Then you pull these sections out, but leave them. Don't fold them all the way just yet. So pull them out on both sides. Then you want to peg the feet together like so. Then bring this around. It will snap into place. Then you take these bits and you fold them so that they're straight. Make sure the shuttle head is sticking straight down and that it's pegged together all the way. And there's your spaceship mode. That is one rectangular space shuttle. Like, it's so chunky up front and then there's all this shit in the middle that just looks off. I mean, the new one visually has its own issues, so it's kind of hard for me to pick based on looks alone which one I like more. His alt mode is pretty solid though, like it stays together very well. The cockpit is really nice up front, but it is entirely painted so it chips because of how the panels have to shift around it. The yellow and red stripe on the side here is nice. And the tender, if I had the damn thing, would act as a launch pad of sorts, but I can't find it, so here's 2015 Kopaka. Man, I miss Bionicle. It's a pretty decent size. Like, I have no issues with how big this is in shuttle mode. I just think it uses its mass in weird ways. Speaking of weird, train time, choo-choo or something, I don't know. All right, so train mode is basically just flipping him upside down and folding everything up onto him. So to start with, we're going to pull these sections out and then rotate the shuttle around 180 degrees. Then pull the legs apart and fold up the, like, chimney and lights thing on this train. I don't know my train terms very well. I also can't get that out. Once you have all that out, you peg this back together. Then you slide the front of the train down. Make sure that stays pegged in. Then you want to bring this section forward and get it pegged back into place. Now you want to come back here. You want to open the boosters, which is easier said than done. Ow, that really hurts. Get that out. Then you want to fold this section up and back in. Get these panels down. His head's going to be exposed, but you flip it over. Peg all of this back section you've undone back together. Then you bring these front train wheels. Actually, no, we're going to leave them up first. You want to bring the wings down. Get them folded down on either side. Fold the wing tips around, and they're going to peg into the arms like that. Then you bring these sections around, and they are going to sort of fit into place there on the side. You gotta kind of flex them a bit, even if these are folded down, and it's a little unfortunate, but they are made of a plastic that's gonna be fine. Then you bring this section down on either side, peg it together, just make sure it's all squeezed. Whoa, make sure it doesn't make that sound. And there you have train. That is one wide train. I definitely prefer the new train over the old one in terms of looks, because the new one is way more quote unquote realistic, I'd say, but I don't know, I'm not a massive train head. I do have these though. These are my dad's that I stole for the massive Raiden video and then just never gave back. Sorry, Dad. This one's just a little bit broken. Oops. I didn't do that, to be fair. But it's a decent enough train. The details are nice, and I like how it changes colors from the gray to like the purple train. But there is a lot of purple paint at the top here that looks weird next to that matte plastic because it's a gloss paint. And the front section is so skinny. I wish it could like slide out just a bit more to make up for that like bloated train look. Bro ate way too much bread. This is also where the tender really comes into shine, plugging into the back, but again, I don't have it, random item, blah blah blah. Don't worry, this is an old Galaxy S5 Neo that boot loops, so it doesn't actually work. In the end though, I think this figure is neat, but I also think it could use an upgrade. It has been 8 years after all. However, that being said, the new one coming out, I still have some visual issues with, so I don't know if I would call it a worthy replacement, but again, I'll be waiting to get it in hand before I make that final decision. But that's been my look at Siege Astrotrain. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.